I'm about to make a lot of the Conor McGregor fanboys mad with this video, but I really do think that Michael Chandler, the more I think about it, is going to win this fight against Conor McGregor. Now, I could always be wrong. A fight's a fight. All it takes is one punch to change the trajectory of a fight. Like what is always said, every great fighter is susceptible to a right hook. And that's very true. But on paper, Chandler is the favorite, and I agree why. I think he's more favored to win this matchup. Let me tell you the reasons. Because number one, Conor McGregor has had a long layoff, and he's coming off of a serious, serious injury. Now, how often does someone come back the same from an injury like that? Not very often. And a lot of people say it's Conor McGregor, but sometimes that's just not enough anymore from what I've seen. Uh, he tends to have, yes, brought in the big numbers, but with that has become a lot of special treatment. And the special treatment has kind of backfired in his opinion because he's had a lot of title fights, main events, and favorable matchups given to him to boost his credibility. He was the perfect storm of circumstances to make a superstar in the UFC, the most successful ever. With all the favorable matchups, there were a lot of people in the featherweight division he did not fight that might have given him a lot more problems. Granted, we did not see those. And I am a fan of his double champ rise. That was a very inspirational time, but we're in a new time now, and you have other fighters who have had to claw, scratch, and fight their way to the top, where one setback can ruin everything for them. So, mentality wise, hunger wise, and just catering wise, I don't see that favoring Conor at all. Now, Chandler has been welcomed into the UFC with open arms because he's a draw himself. But he has not really skipped any opponents. He has always taken every fight that's given to him. Now, you could say a thing about his record, how his only two wins are against Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson, both who are rather past their prime. But this bleeds into my second thing. When he's not getting finished, Michael Chandler doesn't give up. And Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje is the number one example of this. Is that fight stopped going his way after round two, and he was still trying to swing and try and catch Justin with a broken nose, a morphed up face, and he just kept on, kept on going. And yeah, there's nothing to say about that. Whenever the fight tends to not go Conor McGregor's way, Conor McGregor tends to crumble and he tends to give up a little bit. And he's a front runner fighter, so when things stop going his way, the only time I could see a contradictory for this was that second Nate Diaz fight, where his reputation as the greatest and to ever do it was on the line for the first time. And now it's clear that he's not the greatest to have ever done it. He's certainly one of the most marketable, and he definitely is one of the top guys to ever do it, but he's obviously not the best. Um, but also, my last point that I want to make, because not only is Chandler being underestimated in the striking realm, I get that Connor's a counterpuncher, but if Chandler right hands him and hits him, yeah, he strikes a little sloppy, but if he cleans that up, he's going to give McGregor a very hard time. But his wrestling, and I know a lot of people are going to say that if you shoot on Conor, you are not a real fighter or something like that. But that excuse has lost its steam because whenever Conor striking doesn't go very well, like the Nate Diaz fight and the third Dustin fight, right? Conor shot in for either clinches or takedowns. And now the whole excuse of if you try and wrestle me, you're a weasel. That just goes out the window now because he's shooting all the time when the stand up doesn't go his way. So why should Michael Chandler forego the stand up game or the wrestling game, excuse me? Because when you have Conor McGregor shooting and proving that he doesn't practice what he preaches, Then you got Michael Chandler, who will be more than happy to take him down for the first round, grind him out, and make him tired, and then finish him in round two. And I know that Chandler probably wants to put on an entertaining performance, but I still think Chandler's got such powerful punches and such good leg kicks that he is going to give Conor McGregor issues. And I'm not saying this to hate on Conor McGregor because I do like his double champ rise, but right now it just doesn't seem likely, especially with all the muscle Conor's putting on, how his cardio is going to hold up. Is he going to be the same fighter? He's going to have to finish Chandler in the first minute, or it's going to be a hard night because we don't know how his cardio is going to be. We don't know how that muscle is going to affect him. And that kind of stuff does make a difference on these fighters. I know Chandler's bulking up himself, and I know Chandler gets tired, but he doesn't get tired as fast as Conor. And even if he's tired, he still swings, he still goes, he doesn't crumble. He's so mentally tough, and that's what's going to give him such an edge in this fight. So I see Michael Chandler winning this fight. Until I'm proven wrong, I see Michael Chandler as the betting favorite, which he is. I'd have to bet money on Michael Chandler. Um, and I just don't think Conor's got his top of his game anymore. We're gonna see some on-court fights with his career for sure. We still got a few matchups that are going to favor him that he's going to want to go out on, maybe a win. Maybe then he'll take the Tony Ferguson fight because I know Tony's not the same guy anymore. Um, but it's hard to see that. But it's just the truth. Is Conor might actually lose to Michael Chandler, and I'm nervously laughing just because it's crazy to go back and see when this guy used to be such an inspiration, now to the point where like we're questioning everything. And maybe he wants to be questioned because he likes when people doubt him, because then he's gonna say, doubt me now. But we'll see. That's all I got to say. I didn't want to do a whole emotional rant, just all logic based and just statistics wise why I think Connor's going to lose this. But if you were to ask me today, I think Michael Chandler wins. All right. See you guys next time.